this is we really can't be underestimated in this political moment as we sit here in Milwaukee. So after weeks of defiance, there are very strong reports that President Biden may indeed be days away from ending his presidential campaign.
You know, we always talk about situational awareness and we talk about it in respect to everyday carry and being out in transitional spaces. But what about when you're in your home, like the example I just showed you? You tend to let your guard down. You tend to be a little slower to react because you just don't expect something like that to happen. So when lightning strikes, how quickly can you respond? Are you cat-like in terms of your reflexes? Well, I was working out there and I was a little slow to react. I was tired and then I realized what was going on, and so I went up to check the alarm. But a lightning strike or someone breaking in a door or a window, these things happen in an instant. You can't be on high alert at all times, especially in your home. That's the one place where you tend to let your guard down. You have to have a plan, and you basically anticipate what you might do if something happens. Here, this is a picture from 2020, back when I was on heightened alert because of an incident where two guys had come and knocked on the door and then went around to the back, and I managed to scare them off. But it scared me enough and it concerned me enough that I had cameras, and I would sit and look at my laptop. I could see the front door from the back of the house. And so this is the kind of mentality that you can get hyped up, and you can do this for a while, but what happens is you can't sustain that. That's not something that it will drive you crazy. It'll burn you out. It's not something that's sustainable in the long term. It'll also annoy your family. So you have to find a middle ground, and that's what this video is all about. I want to talk a little bit about how do you calibrate your level of situational awareness, especially when you're in the home. Now, for me in the home, probably the biggest thing that I want to do with my self-defense in the home is I want to make it as discreet, but I want to make it as hidden as possible. I don't want to be seeing a weapon on the wall. I don't want to see a weapon mounted hanging in the corner or propped in the corner. I don't want to see them. I want to see them put away, and I want to know where they are, but I don't want to have to encounter them on a daily basis. I don't want my family to have to see them on a daily basis, especially you may have family members who are not so into your enthusiasm level for less lethal. And that's the case with me. My wife is just not into it. She has an equal amount of realistic concern about safety, but she's just not able to get past that barrier of self-defense and preparedness. And no matter how we talk about it, she's not on board to the same degree that I am. So I want it to be discreet, and I don't want to be thinking about it all the time, and that I'm constantly reminded. I just want to know I have a plan and how it can be executed, and where's the safest place that I want to be, and what's my ability to get there. So a lot of times you can relax. You could be here on a sofa, and if you hear something or you get an alert or something happens, you know how to make your way to wherever you need to go. I don't think you need to have under every cushion, you need to have a revolver, or you have to have a rifle in the corner of every room. I don't think that's necessary. I think that's the kind of lifestyle that'll burn you out. It'll drive you crazy. And it's a little extreme. I think there's a fine balance in the middle where you can find something that is sustainable. You can maintain what you have, and you can keep them up to speed. I always feel less is more. If you have too many firearms or too many less lethals, there's no way you can maintain them all. So there's only going to be a couple that are really well maintained at any point in time. Otherwise, you're going to spend all of your time going around and constantly be checking and maintaining and checking your batteries and your lights and your cleanings and maintenance. There's a lot to do there. So I think you have to rein it in a little bit and pick something that works for you. I'm not saying you have to be as chill as Mango. and just be so cool about it. I do think that a heightened level of a certain level of concern and anxiety is good. But I think if you cross a certain line, for most people, if you have too many options, for example, if a person is left in the desert and they have to decide which way to go, it's an incredibly stressful situation because their brain tells them they could go any direction. There's no obvious direction that they can go. Whereas if you're in a area where you know you have a goal and you can see a path and you can walk, if you're in the woods and you can see a way to go, your mind is okay with that and you're more comfortable. And the same thing with your self-defense. If you have your tools and you have your selected tools and you know you're really good at them and they're optimized, you're far better off than if you have an abundance of things or you're a hobbyist and you're just collecting and you have this and that and they're in different stages of disassembly and upkeep, and you may have something that will work well, but there's a potential for confusion. So just keep in mind that when it comes to self-defense, just having a supposed arsenal in quotes of weapons that are available to you does not necessarily make you safer. What makes you safer is that one or two weapons that you're the most comfortable with, that you train with, and that you're ready to run. Those are the ones that are going to keep you safest. All right, folks, I think that's about as clear as I can make this point in this video. If your house looks like this, if this is the kind of clutter that you have around and you're constantly having parts here, parts there, you're probably not the most prepared. I think you might have a place that looks like this, but if you're constantly living with this type of a setup, then I think you're going to be not the most prepared person when it comes to your self-defense. I think you need to be organized, know your limitations, and know your actual level of preparedness. Know your skill level. Know what you can and cannot do. Don't take on something that is above what you're able to do. That's probably the most important message here, is be realistic about what you're actually capable of. If you think you can hit headshots all day from 100 feet with your less lethal and it's going to defend you, well, you go right ahead and believe that, but that's not being very realistic. Think about what's actually you're capable of. Just like at the beginning of this video, I don't have cat-like reflexes. I'm a tall guy and I'm not fast. And so I have to compensate by being smart and being prepared. And so I do the best that I can with my limitations. And I also try to take care of your physical health as well as your mental health. It's all important when it comes to your preparedness and how you're going to respond in times of stress and in times of a real need in terms of a situation, whether it's in your home or outside your home. So I'm going to leave it right there. Let me hear from you. Any questions, comments? I'm happy to chat, and we'll see you again in the next one.
Så vi over på Team Senior første divisjon, og her det da et uttak til vinneren. Men tredjeplassen går til Romerike Drillklubb. Andreplassen går til Sandnes Sportsdrillklubb. Og førsteplassen og Norgesmester går til Nordstrand Drillklubb.